She's the friend who'll show up with coffee or wine when you need it most. But probably wine. Good vibes are on the way. Welcome to Aaron O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency.
Hi, welcome back to Aaron O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency. I'm Aaron. It's wonderful to have you here. I am really excited to introduce you to my next two guests. It's Carli and Beth. They're the Montana Bar Fairies. I heard about this nonprofit, I want to say maybe a month ago. And after I heard about them and was reaching out and trying to get them on the show, I started doing some research and realized that they started this organization out of a really awful tragedy. And I got to tell you, the strength that people have, it's just inspiring to take something that's one of the worst things that's ever happened and find a way to bring awareness, help others so they don't go through something similar. It's just overwhelming kindness, and it gives a purpose to something really painful. And I wish they lived closer because I'd be friends with them and we'd be hanging out because they just really are such down-to-earth, incredible humans that I'm grateful took the time to chat with me, and I love getting to know them, and I think you will as well. Welcome, the Montana Bar Fairies. So I am so excited to bring you two ladies that I've been trying to get a hold of for a couple weeks now because I had heard about this amazing organization that they started called Montana Bar Fairies. And once you hear Montana Bar Fairies, it's like, what is this? I must learn more about this. So welcome, Beth and Carli. Thank you so much for being on the Feel Good Frequency.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh my gosh, I love that you guys echoed each other. That was adorable. So I heard about this. I read about your organization. Is it an official nonprofit now?
Yes. We got that status pretty early on as it started to gain traction. It was just a fun idea at the beginning, and then we realized we have to go legit. So we did it pretty early on. So we've been a nonprofit for about a year.
I was going to say, this is a pretty new organization to begin with. So that is a quick turnaround to make it an official nonprofit. So well done on your parts, because I know that's not an easy thing to do.
That's all.
No,
Mom.
that was daunting. That was a learning experience, and so. We're now going back and changing things a little bit, having more board meetings like, maybe we need to add some different rules, for your bylaws and that sort of thing. So
it's so funny. Everybody that I've talked to that has started a nonprofit says the same kind of stuff. Like, oh, you think it's going to be just, I will just sign this form and we have a nonprofit. And oh my gosh, it's so much more involved. But it's worth it when you get to that other side, because now you can take donations and things like that, and you can expand it however you want, because it's your creation, which is so cool. Because I know you already have 4 chapters, don't you?
I think more.
Yeah, we have more. We're in most of the state of Montana, and then also Wenatchee, Washington, Tacoma, Washington, and Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I saw Flathead Valley. That's where you started.
Yes.
Right? And then Missoula, Bozeman, and Seattle. But I guess there's more that aren't even on your website yet.
Oh, Carli.
That's impressive. Oh my gosh. I thought 4 was blowing me away. But that
Oh, thanks.
Wow. Good.
Oh, wow.
For you guys.
Yeah.
Putting that on the list.
I was going to say one more thing to add to your list of things to do for the new nonprofit. Okay, so will you explain how this came about? Because when I first heard about it, I thought, oh, this is so neat. These ladies are leaving gift cards on cars for people that decided not to drive drunk from a bar. Like, I know that's one of the things you do is go to bars the next day, and whoever left their car there, you put a $5 gift card to a coffee shop or something, almost as just a way of thanking them for not driving drunk or buzzed or anything like that, which I love the whole concept of. But then I found out later why this all came about, and it gave me chills, and it's so powerful. Can you explain how this entire concept came to you?
So in March of 2023, my brother Bobby died. He was killed by a drunk driver. And in Montana, this is not like that's obviously the closest that it's ever been to me, but it's not the first time that it's touched me. It's not the first time it's touched Mom. It's not the first time it's touched any of us, because it's a really, really common problem. And so with it so close, it just felt like, it's just so preventable. It's so unbelievably preventable that you can't help but think, like, what if there was something I could have done? Is there anything I could do in the future to prevent this for other people? I remember driving to my mom's house to visit her in the immediate aftermath when everything's kind of a blur, and driving by a local bar and seeing that there were cars that had their windshields all frosted over that were left in the parking lot. Like, it was obvious that they had been left there overnight. And I remember thinking how nice it might be to pull over, and I just wanted to be like, from somebody who loves someone who was just killed by a drunk driver, like, thank you for not driving home. I almost wrote it on their windshield with my finger. I didn't do that, but I did.
In the frost.
Yeah. But I did call my mom, and we started brainstorming about it because I had worked for a coffee shop for many years and had some connections with some local coffee shops, and figured, maybe they would be willing to donate $5 gift cards. We could buy some, and then we could maybe put Bobby's picture on them. Bobby's my little brother. We could put Bobby's picture on them, just like, hey, thank you. It was like a very simple idea, but it seemed doable, and it was something that we could put energy toward that still felt like it was honoring my brother and was helping, like, process that grief a little bit. And so we decided to give it a shot, and we left the first coffee cards. Bobby died in March of 2023. On New Year's Day, 2024, is when we started actually leaving them. So we worked on them for quite a while, got them right, designed little cards to go with them. Like I said, this is such a prominent issue in the state of Montana and in rural America as a whole. And so there are lots of other victims that we know through the grapevine, or, people who reached out to us. And so very quickly, it wasn't just Bobby, and we left cards honoring other victims as well. And it just kind of has snowballed slowly but surely since the beginning into all of this.
I got to tell you, what an epiphany you had at the worst, lowest moment of your life. You're thinking, thank goodness those people didn't drive. I'm glad that they left their cars there. And you're already thinking of ways to honor your brother and also thank other people that made better decisions than the person that unfortunately did not when he passed. And I just have to say that shows so much about the person you are. The character that you have. I mean, and I'm a big believer that if you are going through something awful, find a way to help somebody else, because the deflection also helps, because it's so heavy sometimes what you carry, and people have no idea what somebody else is going through. But that is the most profound loss for both of you. And to find a way to honor him and his legacy. Was it his 21st birthday that he was killed on?
Yes. And we went to breakfast that morning with him because it was really important for him to have his horizontal driver's license. In Montana, up until 21, it's a vertical license. So when you turn 21, you can get the horizontal license.
Oh my gosh, I never knew that. That's cool.
Yeah, so like 6 months before his birthday, he made an appointment he wanted the very first DMV appointment. Bobby was really kind of funny, and he liked to be, he just made everything fun and was very energetic, and so he wanted the very first appointment on his 21st birthday to get his horizontal driver's license so that he could go out that night. And so Carli, and was a little diner next to the DMV there, and so Carli and I met him for breakfast at 7:00 in the morning. And
7.
Wow. He was determined. I'm going to be the first person at that.
Yes.
DMV.
Yeah. He had it. It was by design. It was all by design.
Oh my God.
And, but it was a horrible snowstorm that morning. And I almost thought about canceling. Carli almost thought about canceling, but thank God that we didn't.
Oh, I'm so glad you didn't.
Because, we got to spend that morning with him. And the last thing he said to me was, I love you, Mama. I'll be okay. It's going to be okay. Because I was worried. He was fun and adventurous and mischievous, known to get into a little trouble. Not bad, but, just 21-year-old rural boy with his friends.
I know you're telling the truth because the sister's laughing because she knows more stories probably than mom does.
Yes, I mean, yeah, probably, and so we were more concerned about him being arrested over doing something stupid than anything. And again, not for anything real big, but he had been known to climb up trees in the forest that were dead and shake them down in it, That's not legal. So there's things like that. It's like stupid 21-year-old boy stuff. But I was worried,
Well, I don't blame you because it sounds like you've got quite a few memories of is that the cops calling for something crazy that he's done?
Yes. When the phone rang at 2 a.m, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kill him,
What
and
did he do now?
Yes,
Oh
exactly.
gosh.
And not a lot, just he was in school. He was a college student. He had a good job. Really, he was a wonderful, loving, kind human being, and just a lot of fun. But had a real spirit and sense of adventure.
And he's a boy, and they can
And he's a
find trouble
boy.
anywhere.
Yes, and his famous words were, "Oh, this is gonna hurt." Like he said that all the time because he liked to make people laugh.
I feel like I know him the way I love how you're explaining him because I feel like I'm sitting here with him too. You have such joy when you speak of him, and you can tell he was pushing the limits of 2021.
Yes,
Just always making you
exactly,
laugh.
Erin. Exactly, pushing the limits. And he promised us that he wouldn't drive home drunk. And so we never thought in a million years he'd be killed crossing the street.
That's what he was doing, just walking?
So what happened, and it's a little fuzzy because that whole time frame is fuzzy, but they were out in front of the local pub where all the kids go, and it was cold outside, and apparently their Uber driver didn't show up, so they called one of the parents. And the parents said, I'll pick you up on the other side. But they crossed the street.
There was a gas station on the other side of the street, and I think that there was something about them going to the gas station.
Yeah, it was warm. They got
wanting
kicked
to
off the
stop
property.
by.
Yeah. So, and so they're running across the street, and there's 3 of them. And Bobby was the last. And I asked the first kid, or the young man, why didn't you look? Because Bobby was jaywalking. They went against the light and they were 30 feet outside of the crosswalk. And I asked the first kid, they ran, why did you run? Why didn't you look for cars? And he said, I did look, and, we had plenty of time. Or I had plenty of time is what he said. So, my guess is that since Bobby was the last of 3, that he just saw his buddies take off, and he took off after him without, looking out for his own personal safety. Montana Bar Fairies came out of all this, but that sparked us. We actually brought a new law to the House and to the state of Montana because since Bobby was jaywalking, even though the driver had a blood alcohol of 0.20, and the sheriff determined, or the highway patrol detective determined that he had plenty of time and should have seen Bobby and the other men in the road. But since Bobby was jaywalking and having a high blood alcohol in Montana doesn't matter, he was only convicted of an aggravated DUI and careless driving, both misdemeanors.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So you have Bobby's Law, which I read about, that just went into effect in June of this year, right?
Well, officially October 1st. Officially, yeah, they pushed it because they had to inform all the county attorneys across the state. So now if you kill someone with a blood alcohol of 0.16 or higher, you automatically go to jail for a minimum of 3 years because it's inherently negligent to be driving around with a blood alcohol that high.
Right.
And, I'm not saying what Bobby did was right. He broke the law, but jaywalking shouldn't be punishable by death, especially when you never should have been on the road to begin with.
Right.
And unfortunately, I watch the jail rosters every single day. I track all the accidents that happen across the state of Montana, and the amount of pedestrians that are killed by drunk drivers is alarming.
I did research before talking to you both, and you have one of the highest fatalities from DUIs in the entire country. How are you even getting that kind of fatality in a place where, not for nothing, but don't you have more cows than people?
Yes, but Erin, it's per capita. It's not total number.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Right now, I think we're running at about 57% of all fatalities and are DUI related.
Oh my God, that's outrageous. It's so preventable too. That's what's so maddening. Oh my gosh, it's so maddening.
It is really interesting because I think in Montana and in rural areas as a whole, I know that, North Dakota shortly follows and Alaska has the issues and blah, blah, blah. Like all of these rural communities do. But in Montana, for a long time, we didn't have a speed limit until the 90s. Like it just wasn't taken seriously by law enforcement. It wasn't taken seriously by communities. It wasn't taken seriously by anybody. And a little bit of that old-timey thing has held on. Just, take the back roads, whatever. We're not dealing with nearly the same amount of traffic. And so I think people think that if they drink and drive home and they end up in the ditch, they're the only person that they're endangering.
Or a moose or something. They're not going to hit
or a
an actual
moose
person. Yeah.
Which you don't want to hit a moose. That is not good.
No. But
No,
I mean, I'd rather
no.
these people hit moose than a person. So, but I
Absolutely.
I understand. Not a good thing.
But that will really screw up your car. So, I think that the rural thing has contributed to it a lot. We also have a lot of bars per capita. It's short days, long nights in the winter. People are very bored. There's not a whole lot to do. And we have a high rate of alcoholism and mental health issues and suicide. And so I think all of it kind of plays together.
And with it being rural, I'm sure you have way less Uber drivers than the rest of us and, closer to bigger cities and things.
Yes, but I've talked to a lot of Uber drivers, and we do have actually quite a bit of Uber drivers here in the Flathead Valley. Unfortunately, all the airlines, and we have 4 or 5 major airlines that fly right into Kalispell, they all have 6 a.m. flights. So the Uber drivers don't do the bar shift because they have to be up at 3:30 in the morning to take people to the airport. That's because when you have 4 planes leaving at 6 a.m. and they all carry 300 people, or 70 to, it depends on the time of the year. They have 70 to 300 people per plane. That's a lot of Uber drivers.
That's where all the Uber drivers are going. Gosh, that makes so much sense.
So,
oh my gosh.
And they don't want people throwing up in their car.
Yeah, I mean, who does? I get
Right.
it. I do
Right.
understand that.
That's what happened. And so when I talked to the county attorney, and he just said, we can't, there's nothing we can do. We don't have the time nor the money to go to trial, which this would require. We have to take what we can get. We're going after misdemeanors. And I said, that's just not right. That's inherently wrong. This is a loophole. I'm going to fix it. And when I do, I expect your help. And he said, you got it. And then when it came down to it, he was awesome. And he helped us write a very good ironclad law that's very difficult to get out of.
And I was going to say, DUI, any kind of DUI reform, that's a hard thing to get through.
Very hard.
That's impressive that you
11
did that
hearings.
and did it quickly. 11?
Yeah, between the Senate and the House, because they had to go back and forth and fix this and do that and what about this, it was very, very eye-opening on how it all works. But the reality is it took a lot of dedication. Carli and I did not have a life for probably a solid 6 months,
Wow. But you know what?
It's debatable whether or not we have one now.
It's debatable. Not much of one. But man, you did it. I'm so proud, and I hope you're proud of you too. And I am positive that Bobby is looking down like, wow, this is impressive. It's very special that his name is on it, but it's got to be something now that people are talking about in Montana, and they're going to think twice. Hopefully that is going to be a massive deterrent from people doing anything like that. And isn't there something else in the law about if you were driving also after drinking and you had like courts said that you shouldn't be driving, that you can be charged with Bobby's Law as well or something? What is that? I thought I read something like that.
Yes. And we didn't put that in.
Oh, that was a bonus.
So
Yeah.
bonus.
Yeah.
No, so to get an aggravated DUI, the way that a person with no prior convictions would get one would be to have a blood alcohol concentration that's double the legal limit. So 0.08 in Montana, therefore 0.16 would make it an aggravated DUI. But if you have a prior conviction or are breaking release conditions, you can be given an aggravated DUI without having to be 0.16.
Or suspended license, driving on a suspended license.
Ugh.
Right. So there are other things that can get you an aggravated DUI. For the vast majority of people, it's going to be being above that 0.16 threshold. But there are actually some technicalities that you could get it if you're just driving when you shouldn't be driving and you've gotten in trouble for driving before. You can get one without having to be 0.16.
Yeah. I was actually surprised when that got put on there that would go through.
Yeah.
You were?
I was. 72% of the 57% DUI fatalities, 72% of those are at aggravated levels. So the reality is that it isn't people who's having 2 beers with their pizza who are killing people. It is people who've had 5 or 6 beers and a couple of shots. I mean, it's people who are like falling down sideways, that they're the ones that are killing people. And that's what I'm saying. They have no business being on the road. I don't know anybody who says that's okay.
No, gosh, no. And I'm glad that the state really is kind of catching up to where a lot of the country has already been, because I do feel like back in the 80s and it wasn't anywhere near as serious as it is now, and it's taken so much more seriously now, as it should be, for years and years. I remember Mothers Against Drunk Driving. That was such a big deal back then, because it was like they were screaming from the rooftops, why isn't there more of a strict law about driving drunk? Like, why are people getting convicted 5, 6, 7 times, somehow still driving? This is not okay.
Right.
So now I feel like, and I'm so grateful for that, for your whole state, is that it's really where it should be with that. Thank God.
Totally. And, since COVID, drunk driving fatalities and very serious injuries have increased since COVID. They were going down. People were being good about it. But then all of a sudden, you got all these drive-through liquor stores and all this kind of stuff during COVID, and it actually caused an increase. Those to-go drinks caused an increase. I just went to Mothers Against Drunk Drivers 45th anniversary in Washington, D.C. and lobbied for stronger DUI legislation and stuff. So this is how I know. But the most important thing, having a law, because we're not about a punitive stuff in any way, shape, or form. This was important because it was a loophole and victims' families deserve justice.
Yes.
Okay. And there needs to be a deterrent, a significant deterrent, because when you have a community that's supporting change in the culture, plus you have laws that support it, and then you have enforcement of those laws, that's how you get change to be made. But the biggest thing is not the law. It is the bar fairies. It is the people that tell us, I used to drive drunk all the time before I got a card.
Tell me those stories. So you get people now that are, first of all, how are they finding you? Is this like in the morning when they come to get their car and they see you putting a $5 coffee gift card on? Or how are people getting a hold of you and telling you that? Are they emailing you?
Social media. Social media has been such a huge way for us to reach people, and people have responded really positively to the cards, which is wonderful. Like we did an event where we were just spreading some awareness. We like to bring out a table. We have a breathalyzer. We like to do events sometimes. And a gal approached us and she said that she keeps the card that has my brother's face on it. She keeps my brother's card on the fridge as a reminder for her teenagers. She's gotten several, just like that, this is what's at stake when you guys are doing this, and just kind of continue that conversation with people. So we have people come up to us at events. We get DMs on Instagram and on TikTok, a lot of visibility in those places. So there's a constant open dialogue between us and other people, other victims, other victims' families, people who want to help out, people who just think it's cool from afar and want to tell us, and we're constantly talking to people.
I love that. And I saw on your website, I was seeing some of the events that you have done over St. Patrick's Day. There's a 2-day celebration, which, by the way, Erin O'Malley, love that. And
Yeah, totally.
you had you gave away free water and snacks and breathalyzers, and then you gave out coffee and signed people up to be designated drivers for future events. Like, that is such a huge get to be able to do that. That is spectacular, the difference you're making. And then the Winter Carnival, you gave away 80, I think, $5 gift cards that you left on cars. Again, you're a pretty new nonprofit to be able to do all of this in such a short amount of time. Are you getting community help and support, different businesses that want to sponsor and be part of it and help out and things?
Oh, yes. We have a very large network of volunteers, which is absolutely mind-blowing, and we love them so much. People are so dedicated to doing this. Yeah, and then the amount of donations that we receive from local businesses. I don't know if you saw that, Carli, but we just got a $500 donation out of a business in Gallatin County here.
Wow,
and so that's Bozeman.
Exciting.
There's a burrito place in Billings. Right, Carli? Is that Billings?
There's a bagel place in Billings and a burrito place in Kalispell. So like extra businesses are donating things other than coffee, just as a thank you. Like, let's sweeten the pot. Who doesn't want a free bagel and a breakfast burrito?
It's really lovely.
So yeah,
especially the morning after. You're like, oh
Right?
my God,
That's
I can
when
go
you
through and
need
get a cup of coffee and a burrito.
totally. And it's great. I mean, like, we have this massive social media reach, and so it's a great promotion for those businesses. I hope that it's positive for everybody who's involved. It's positive for the sponsors. It's positive for the volunteers. It's positive for everybody, because it would not be possible without the help that we've had from our community, and then all the other communities in Montana and all the other communities in Lake of the Ozarks and in Washington, and the directors that were willing to work so hard to take those areas on and find their own volunteers and find their own donations for their area. So, I mean, we're just super duper fortunate.
But it's you. Both of you have amazing energy, and I feel like you are carrying on this is his legacy. He is still helping people, and I get chills when I say this. I feel like Bobby is still helping people through you. This is going to be something, his name is on that law, but it's something that will forever be carried on. And putting his picture and pictures of other people who have been lost through drunk driving with the $5 gift card is brilliant. It's so brilliant because it's not just, please don't drink and drive, somebody we love passed. It's, here's a picture. This was a real person. This really happened, and we don't want it to happen to you. So please don't drink and drive. And to have that person and that story with it, it hits. That hits. That's so smart.
Thank you.
We really don't want anyone else. That's why we do this. Because you just don't think it's going to happen to you.
No,
never. And it could. And I don't ever want to meet another mother. I mean, I pray daily for my community because I don't want anybody else I know to go through the pain that we felt, And if that's what we can do to help by being, spreading positivity, love, let's do this together, because the reality is if the community doesn't join in, it doesn't work. So I appreciate the kind words, Erin, but the reality is if we didn't have our volunteers, it wouldn't be sustainable. Carli and I could not do it every weekend in the Flathead.
No.
And our volunteers are amazing, and they come all over, and they pitch ideas, and they wear their swag everywhere, because when you volunteer, you always get a piece of swag. You get a hat or a sweatshirt or a coffee cup or some, well, come on, you're getting up at 5:00 in the morning, driving around cars, and then in the wintertime, it's dark and it's cold and it's icy, and we want to say thank you. So, and the volunteers energize us, So we've always said we will continue to do it as long as people donate money for it, and volunteers will always do it. If tomorrow all of a sudden people were done with it, I would be sad, I'm not going to lie, but I would be like, well, we started a conversation. And a friend of mine who's a biker in Montana, kind of a rough and tumble biker dude, he said even in his circles that instead of just going like, oh geez, I hope Larry gets home safe, it's, hey Larry, you know what? Why don't we give you a ride? Why don't we call you an Uber, even in the biker circles?
Wow,
So like,
that's big.
yeah, and that's really big because they're
a big deal.
invincible. Nothing ever
Oh, yeah.
happens to them. They're bikers,
Never,
right?
never.
So I'm proud of what we've done so far. I hope it continues in the future. But I'll sleep good at night, even if this is all that there is, because a conversation has started and people are thinking twice, like you said, and that's what's most important.
That's how change comes about. Conversation is what eventually can change things. If we can't talk about stuff, if people don't talk about it, why would it ever change? But the fact that it is making people talk and it's making people think twice and take a better avenue many of the times, that is success. That is what you want. I mean, honestly, the best thing that could happen is that the Montana Bar Fairies are no longer needed because nobody drinks and drives anymore.
Right. No, that is the best case scenario for sure, And we want to be clear. We don't say you can never drink and drive, which a lot of people tell us, I won't even drive even after I have one. And you know what? That's awesome. But the reality is that the majority of people can go and have a beautiful glass of wine with their meal, and they're not going to be a danger to society. They can have a beer and watch the game and have some pizza at the local pub. They're not going to kill anyone or get a DUI. So we're not saying that. We're saying be responsible. So we're not judging people. We're not fun suckers.
No, and you don't come off that way at all.
I just went to Napa Valley.
Yeah, exactly. You just got back from Napa Valley. You're not sucking anybody's fun. You're just saying, be a grown up, be an adult about it. There's a difference. Right. You know when it's too much. People know.
Exactly.
I don't think that you sound like you're, the fun police at all. You're just really trying to get people to think twice, to talk about it, and to realize it's a major problem that is so easily avoidable. And I also have to say, kudos to the bars in your area for being okay with people leaving their cars overnight, because there are very few that I can even think of in my area that will allow you to stay overnight without getting towed. So thumbs up to Montana for that.
There is that has been one of the most surprising things about getting wide-reaching social media. When a video has gone viral, the amount of comments of people saying that their cars get towed if they leave their cars get downtown, if they leave them in the bar parking lot, that it's just unacceptable in a lot of places for that parking situation. And I understand not having, just random cars parked all over the place, but especially if they come to pick them up before noon the next day or whatever. But yeah, we're really lucky. And I think with the bars, we have a little bit of a symbiotic relationship with them because they don't want their patrons, they don't want to be held accountable for someone drinking and driving after being at their establishment. They don't want to see their regulars killed. They don't want to see their regulars who they've bonded with kill other people, so the bars have been very sweet and accommodating with us. Some of our sponsors, like Jägermeister, has donated to us. The local bars have donated to us. We've had a really good response actually from alcohol people. That's not how you would say that.
Like distributors and things. Alcohol people.
Yes. Alcohol people.
Guys, this is big. Do you expect this to be in more cities across the country? Because I absolutely do. I would volunteer for this. I think this is so cool.
Oh, it takes a director who's dedicated to do it twice a month to get off the ground. And then about 4 or 5 friends who are willing to do it. So Carli and I both bar ferry once a month, right, Car?
Yeah.
We do it once a month. I enjoy doing it. She enjoys doing it. But if you have to do it every single weekend, you could burn out on it. So
yeah, I can understand that.
As long as we have money in the bank and we got people who are willing to do it, we're willing to set up any new communities. So if any of your listeners out there, if they want to get involved, just email montanabarfairies.org. Reach out to us.
Email montanabarfairies@gmail.com.
Oh yeah, our website, montanabarfairies.org. You can go there too. You can either email us or you can go through the website.
Your website also is excellent with the resources you have with prevention of DUI, grief support, that kind of thing. I mean, you really have gone all out with your website as well. For being a new
Thank you.
nonprofit, please give yourself credit because you did this right. You did not start off
Oh,
like
thank
flying by
you.
the seat of your pants, even if it felt like it, because you really are
It felt
very
like it.
organized. So I must know where Bar Fairies came from. I love the name. It sticks out. You remember it. Where did it come from? Who came up with it?
Carli.
I think I was thinking about the tooth fairy.
Uh-huh.
I think that's where it came from.
Yeah, because
Because
in the
it's, like,
middle of the night, the tooth
magical.
fairy comes and gets your tooth, and you get some nice little treat to wake up to.
That's what I was thinking. Some people hate the name. I personally think it's fun.
I think it's fun too. Who hates it? Those are the fun suckers. Those are the fun suckers.
Yes.
We don't like them. Mm-mm.
Really, when she came up with it, I really liked it because then I thought, we don't have to tell anybody where we're at or where we're going to be. And so you never know where the fairies will be.
It's such a great name. It's such a great name.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
just love it. And I would love to know what you think Bobby would think of what you're doing.
I saw somebody, one of Bobby's friends, this just cracked me up and I thought it was so sweet. One of Bobby's friends commented on People magazine recently did an article which we were blown away
wow.
by. It was crazy. And so they had posted his picture and a little bit about the Bar Fairies on their Instagram, and there were all these older ladies saying, "Oh, he's so handsome." And one of Bobby's friends was like, Bobby would be so geeked right now if he could see how many moms and grandmas are calling him handsome. You
I
would
love
have
it.
no idea. I just thought that was so sweet. But I mean, I wish all the time. I wish all the time that I could tell him. And, we tell him in our own ways, like getting to give. Like I do. I wish I could give an update because it's really so amazing. It's really so amazing.
He liked attention, you know, and
He would love this then.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't super hammy, but he liked
But
to
he was
make
a little hammy.
he liked to make people smile is what he liked to do. He liked to make them laugh. That was always important to him, you know. Can I tell you a quick little story?
Yeah, please do.
So he was a lifty up on Big Mountain, so he put people on the chairlift to go skiing. But his very first season, a couple with a young daughter, she was taking her first ski lessons, and she was terrified of the chairlift.
Aw.
So Bobby came up with a little game that made it fun to get on the chairlift, and he would literally stop it for her
Oh.
every Saturday when she came along. So they would always look for Bobby to be their lifty, and he would get her comfortable getting on the chairlift. So 3 or 4 seasons later, she's good, but he never stopped doing it. He
Aw.
never stopped playing the game with her because she was still a small child. She just wasn't, afraid. And when we had Bobby's celebration of life, her parents came
Oh.
so that they could tell me what Bobby did for them.
How beautiful.
The amount of people that we had that came up to us at his celebration of life. I don't know if you know this, but Bobby saved my life one day. I was choking and,
Oh, wow.
Heimlich maneuver on me. And Bobby shoveled my snow every single day. The elderly woman across the street. And Bobby helped me do this. And Bobby helped me do that. And he didn't brag about those things that he did. He just did them because he liked to make people smile. So when I say wait, what? He was a ham when it was appropriate to be a ham. But I don't remember him being particularly braggadocious or,
No,
he
not
was
at all.
actually pretty humble.
Yes.
He was pretty
No,
humble.
but
So
he did love to be called handsome. Then he would have loved that. Yeah.
I saw a picture. He's very, very handsome.
He
Yeah.
would have loved that. So when his friend commented that, I just started cracking up. It was so it's so funny.
I just know inside he's in heaven going, Mom, that's sick. That's totally sick what you guys do.
You know that's what he's saying. And what's
Yeah.
so beautiful is that you just said that he loves making people smile. And what's so incredible about what you have started is that you still get to do that for him.
Yeah.
You're carrying that on for him with his picture and his story, with that gift card. You're carrying on him making people smile. And I just love that legacy that you have left. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Don't stop. Don't stop. You're making a difference in the world, and he's still making a difference in the world, which makes it even more beautiful.
As long as we've got people and money, we'll do it.
Well, I
So-
hope you continue with both.
Thank you.
very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I absolutely love what you do. Before I let you go, you are the first two people I've ever talked to from Montana, so I have to know what you think of Yellowstone. Are you sick of everybody wanting to come visit your state, or?
Yes and no. I mean, we make money off of tourism. It provides a lot of jobs for a lot
Sure.
of people.
Come
You know?
and then leave.
Yeah.
You just want us to leave. I get that.
I can't see it, but I don't know if it's so much that we don't want people to leave. What we don't want is people to come here and then try to change Montana to the place where they came from. Though here we are doing that with Bobby's Law, you know.
Yeah, but you're trying to save lives. You're not trying to steal land. It's very different.
No,
Right.
It's
no.
very different from Yellowstone.
And I don't want people to think that as many people get killed and murdered.
You don't have a train station down the street from you?
We kind of do. We got
I
the
know.
train station.
I know it's been kind of a crazy year, but
That's a story for another time.
yeah, it's a story for another time.
My gosh, I have absolutely loved getting to know you. I wish you the best of luck. I think
Thank
it's
you.
remarkable what you've done and what you continue to do. And I wish you the best of everything.
Thank you
Erin,
so
it was
much,
so nice
Erin.
to meet you.
Thank you so much, ladies, for taking the time to explain your incredible organization, and to just get to know you has been quite a joy. And I'm thankful you exist. And I love that you came on the podcast. It means so much to me. Thank you again. If you know somebody who would be great on the Feel Good Frequency, please let me know. Because, a lot of people are doing amazing things, but they're just, I don't want to talk about it. It's okay. It's no big deal. But it is. Here we make a big deal of the good, because too much is being made of the bad, and we need more happy. So it's ErinO'Malley'sFrequency.com, ErinO'Malley'sFrequency.com. Go there. Tell me about somebody that's doing something awesome. Even you, maybe you're doing it. I'd love to have you on. ErinO'Malley'sFrequency.com. Thank you so much for joining me again, and have a great week. Bye.